Okay, we should be back. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right. According to our fans here, they're saying the sound is better. So I'd like to say I knew what I was doing, but basically all I did was turn it off and turn it on.
All right, on the mat now for the start of game number 1.
Okay, bowling fans, time to begin our first of 3 eliminator matches to determine our winners. On the scratch side, we have everybody bowling. Number 1 seed, Brandon Updike, Brittany Himmelreich, elected to go last. Second seed, Anthony and Andy Nyer, elected to go first. We have third seed, Gene Blair and Jack Selmer, who elected to go third. And Isaac Erickson, Neil Reichel, who elected to go second.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, how we are doing this today is elimination style. All 4 teams will bowl the first game. The low seed will be, or the low scores will be out. That'll leave us with the final 3. We'll bowl another game. Low score will be out. Final 2, low score out. There's our champions. Due to the fact that the bowlers for adult juniors bowl across from each other, I did not set any cameras on the scoreboards today, so we will be using like we did last week at East Lincoln. So you'll see, I'll get some other camera angles up in a few minutes. Okay, that's Anthony and Andy Nyer up first. They qualified second. How we did this today, the seeds, the higher you were, that got to choose where you wanted to start. So it looked like with Brittany and Brandon having the high seed on the scratch side, they chose last. Anthony and Andy chose first. Gene and Jack chose third, and that left Isaac and Neil for second. Let's see here. On the handicap side, the handicap is Sean and the Palmers are getting 79 pins. Hawkinsmith and Brown are getting 36. The Gordons are getting 19. And Royer and Chavez are getting 27. Yes, that is my kid breathing very heavily into the microphone. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, our message board is live and operational. Feel free to chime in. Let me know where you're watching us from. Any questions, any comments, feel free. Just please keep it clean.
Everybody on the scratch side so far, the first 3 teams are all clean. Strike there for Jody. Chase now up on lane 16. Brandon goes the wrong way and gets a strike. Brittany up now on 14. We're looking to start the team off with 20. Ten back for Brittany. Romaine starts off with a strike. Sean now looking for his spare. He gets it. So all clean for all 8 bowlers on the scratch side. A little bit of trouble for the adults over on the handicap side, but it's only the first frame. It's still early.
Let's go over to them. Our first look close in. This camera's at a little bit of an angle. Don't have a table right behind the scoreboard. Yes, you're not tall enough to, no. You're still probably not tall. Now maybe you are.
The always fun light pocket 5'7" for DJ Brown.
There was a couple of them today.
I didn't leave one.
Severo Gordon up on 16, comes in very, very light, misses the head pin, leaves the 157. Spare for Anthony Nair. Andy with the double. Neil also with the double behind him. DJ covers. Up with his strike. And he does. Hawkins Smith comes up through the head pin, leaves the 4-6-10. DJ Brown on 16 coming off back-to-back opens, looking to make his 10 pin here to get on the board here with a mark. And he does make his 10. Neil Vital now up on 14. Looking to match Andy Nair with the 3-bagger. Good shot there. And a mixer strike there for Isaac Erickson.
Okay, let's everybody try this again. Can you hear me? You guys should be able to hear me. Not you guys.
Oh.
Us, YouTube land.
Jack Selmer comes up high, leaves the 3-6. Strike for Gene. Good looking shot there for Severo. Leaves the pocket 8-10. Dad with the bucket. Converts. Jack Selmer, the first open on the pair. That one got a little away from him there. Branded up on 13. Light hit for Brandon, leaves the 4. Chase with a strike for his first double of the match. Jody follows suit, gets a 3-bagger. And Brittany now up on 14. She comes up light, leaves the 2-4-5. And Mr. Palmer once again with another strike. Throwing the ball very well this game. Sean comes up high, leaves the 3-10. Four-pin conversion for Brandon. Brittany now looking to make her 3/4 bucket. Hard and straight at it, converts. Once we hit the 5th and 6th frame, we'll give you guys some scoring updates. Once we're a little further along, let you guys know where things are. 4-bagger for Andy Nair. Anthony now looking for a double. Good shot there. And Neil and Isaac up now for their 4th frames. Spencer, 9 spare for his 4th. DJ Brown up now for his 4th frame, working on a spare. Looking to get a strike here to get on the board. He comes up light, leaves the weak 7. Weak hit there for Neil also, leaves the weak 10. Just all a matter of how these bowlers can carry right now. Everybody's in the pocket. Good high strike there for Isaac. DJ looking to make his 7-pin, he does. Severo struck in his 4th frame. Jody came up a little high, leave the 4-pin. Spare conversion there for Neil, makes his 6-pin. And Gene now for his 4th frame. Trips the head pin front for the strike. Dan Gordon, good shot there, leaves the 10th pin. And Jody Royer with her spare. We are currently in the end of the 4th frame in both matches. Like I said, we'll give you guys some scoring updates in the next 2 to 3 frames. Once we get to the end of things here, we'll see where we're at. Jack comes high, leaves the Greek church. Jason, don't look now, but they are changing.
I'm telling you, this is going to be very, very interesting.
And we have 3 more games to go in this pair.
Yes.
Or 2 more games, rather. But it might feel like 3.
What are you seeing there, Young man, as you want to put your little mic up closer to your mouth.
Why? Because then you hear me breathe.
I can't hear you. Put your mic up close to your mouth.
No.
Thank you. What are you seeing out there?
A wood lane.
Now, you bowled on this pair your last game of the second round. What did you think?
If I missed right, it actually hooked, unlike it did all day. The first 7 games, you missed right, it stayed right. But that game, you missed right, it actually hooked. Well, let's just say I left a 4-pin, moved a board left, threw it at the same spot, and it hooked more. Explain that one.
Oh.
Well, you're on wood and you're on burn.
Romain
one
Palmer
was
comes up high for his first best shot of the match. Go ahead, Danny,
Point there,
finish.
I think all day.
Brittany puts 10 back. Her and Brandon strike in the 4th frame. The Nair family is currently your leader through 4 frames. Andy with the front 5. Anthony with strike, spare, and a double. Looking for a 3-bagger. He gets it. Right now, through 4 frames, the Nairs are in the lead. Erickson, Vitale second, Updike, Himmelreich third, and Blair Selmer in 4th. Still a pretty tight match over on the scratch side. Way too early to tell. Over on 15 and 16, we are through 4 frames. DJ Brown with a 9 spare in the 5th. Hawkins Smith up for his 5th frame. He comes up high, leaves the 3-pin. Erickson comes in just a little late, leaves the 10-pin. Neil up now on 14. A 10-pin for him also.
Mr. Updike is telling me there's a hook spot on the left lane.
There's always a hook spot on the left lane. There's one on the right lane too. It's about 50 feet down.
Prognostication by Skip Moyer.
Neil and Isaac both make their 10 pins. Hawkins Smith missed his spare. Severo Gordon gets the double. His father also struck in the 5th frame. Chase Attic Chavez leaves the 310. He's looking for his spare. Chops off the 3. Jack with the strike, back on the board for his first strike of the match. Gene now looking for a 4-bagger. He comes up high, also leaves the 4-pin. Jody coming off the 3-bagger spare gets on with her strike. And now the Palmer family. Romain with the strike. Sean now looking to double up for the team. Sean leaves the 310. Spencer misses just a bit outside, throws it in the gutter. He'll be looking to make the spare. Brittany comes up high, 4-6-7.
I think she found the hook spot.
She did.
That Brandon Dix is on the left lane.
Let's see, that's on the right lane.
Yes. Let's see what adjustment he's going to make. He said he was going to move left and try just to nip it down lane. He says it's somewhere between 5 and 10, about 15 feet past the arrows.
If that's a problem spot, then I would try to avoid that.
Yes.
I got a prediction, flat 10. Wow, it didn't flat 10. That's surprising.
Actually, it was a good-looking shot.
Yes.
I mean, that could have been a flat 10. I think they got a little lucky to hit the 10.
Could have been a pocket
10.
7-10.
Could have been a 10, a 7, an 8, a 9. As long as you don't leave the biggest split of them all.
That's
The
good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The hardest split to make in bowling. Andy Nyer gets the front 6. Anthony leaves the 6 pin. Neil gets the strike. Spare there for Anthony.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, the message board is live and operational. Feel free to comment, ask a question, let me know where you're watching us from. Keep it clean. Any negative comments, you will go into timeout for 5 minutes. If you give me a second negative comment, you will be banned. Period.
Don't live your life in denial. Keep it nice. We got some deadwood down there on 15. Gonna have to let the center know about that. We're gonna get that deadwood out of the dish before you bowl.
All right, Daniel, here's a good question for you. Jaden would like to know, are wood lanes harder to bowl on?
Depends.
Elaborate.
Well, stop doing that.
Well is not the correct answer.
Yes.
Depends on what oil pattern it is and how many people are bowling, I guess.
Wow.
Can I chime in on this one?
I think we'll both chime in. You first.
Well, I've made it no secret in my life I'm a fan of wood lanes. Sometimes I need all the help I can get on the back end. But I grew up on these wood lanes, so I will always say they are my favorite. It allows me to get right with a urethane ball and attack.
The trick is with wood lanes, they typically start out similar to what synthetic lanes do. They may hook a little bit more in the back end, but the problem is as the tournament goes further and further on, you will lose oil on the heads a lot quicker on wood than you'll lose them on synthetic. So as the tournament gets later and later, you tend to have a more challenging lane pattern. So you have to have the right roll on the bowling ball for wood. Those that could get the ball into a roll, like a heavier throw, kind of like Josh, tends to do better once the lanes break down on wood.
Big difference between the wood lanes and the synthetic lanes. You know, wood lanes, these are, I mean, it's a sheet of wood, pretty much what you see out there. The synthetics have the plastic overcoating on them. And of course, the reason why, you know, you have the ability to hold up a little more on the synthetics.
About 20 or so years ago, they came out with a, I don't know if I would call it lacquer, but some kind of coating you could put over the wood lanes so you didn't have to resurface them every year. That changed wood a little bit for the bowling centers that actually went to it. But that's something else that you need to do on woods. You need to resurface the lanes every so often to smooth them back out, because wood is going to get rough over time.
All right, we have the front 7 for Neil, or Neil, Andy rather. Neil on the double. After 6 frames here, it's pretty much stayed the same. The Nyers are in the lead. Actually, it's pretty neck and neck between the Nyers and Eriksson and Vital. Updike and Himmelreich are third, and Blair and Selmer right behind them. Over on the handicap side, we have Hawkinsmith and Brown at about 220. The Gordons at about 240. Royer and Attic Chavez just over 200. And the Palmer family right around 280.
Thank you, Ben, for telling me it's Guardian, but I could promise you it was not called Guardian 20 years ago. That would be too easy of an answer. And Lynn says that wasn't a good answer. So, Lynn, if you would prefer to answer it yourself, feel free. We do know you are a bowling expert.
How was our answer not good enough?
Well, that's Lynn. I don't know if anything's ever good enough for Lynn.
That's good. 16 is a nice 7-9.
Let's go over and look at it.
We might have to have a chat with Lynn just to find out what is good enough for Lynn.
I did that at J.
Yes, you did.
All right, Brittany with the spare. Dove milk chocolate. I've never had one of these, ever.
Hey, you're about to.
We're going to find out.
It's pretty good.
In his rapper, it says treat Tuesday like Friday.
What?
Treat Tuesday like Friday.
There you go. So now Jaden has another question. You could tell he's very interested in learning how. He wants to know how a urethane ball is different from, I'll change the words from a resin ball. There's a pretty big difference. The cover is definitely different.
That's kind of my answer, the cover stock.
Yes. The cores are usually different. There's a lot of different core styles in resin. Urethane, there's not a lot of difference. urethane isn't going to have the violent back-end reaction that resin does, or resin can have.
As it looks like Brittany and Brandon find themselves in the basement by a pin.
Yes, they are. They're going to need to get going here a little bit. Brittany with a 10-pin.
I did tell them before we started that I apologize for picking this pair. But it just set up very nice for where our Ethernet connection was.
I'm sure this isn't the only pair that the heads aren't there.
I'm sure they would prefer if we were a little bit further up the house.
Probably. As getting really deep on wood doesn't usually work.
Oh,
Well,
Lynn didn't like your answer, little man.
Well, who could like his answer? It was only
That's-
one word.
That's true.
How'd you like your bowling today? Okay. Is tomorrow a day off for school?
it's supposed to be, but we don't.
Okay, I think everybody goes to school tomorrow. That answers my question.
I got to go to work. That's all I know.
Me too. All right. In the scratch division after 8 frames, the Nyers are in the lead. Isaacson and Vitale second. It looks like Updike and Himmelreich are in third by only a little bit.
I actually have them last.
Are you? 9,
Since Jack's on a
230,
double.
7. Okay. Well, it's very close. It's under 10 pins.
Yeah, it's really close. But if Jack and Gene were to both strike, it'd make it about 20. Buy something frivolous. What? You say that word.
Frivolous.
Close enough.
And over on the handicap side, we have Hawkinsmith and Brown at about 30, about 269, 270. 300 for the Gordons. 270 for Royer and Attic Chavez. And the Palmer family at right around 300 also. Jody now misses her 10 pin. Chase now looking to double, keep them in the match. Strike there for, or spare there rather for Erickson. Vitale with the 6-8. High snowplow there for Sean.
Jaden, why don't you tell me how old you are first? Ooh, there's a big break.
Romaine Palmer now up on 16. Summer now looking to maintain that third place lead. He comes up very light, leaves the 2-4-5. Papa Palmer comes up high, leaves the 4-pin. The Palmer family still very much ahead. They're in good shape at the moment. And we have too many balls on the handicap side. Just had a ball fly off the rack. Jack now looking for his spare. He converts. Keeps him and Gene neck and neck. They are currently up about 40 now. 30-40 for that last spot.
These are big shots in the ninth for Brandon and Brittany. Let's see what they could do.
there
And
for Brandon.
Brandon gets the 10 out. So let's see here. That puts him 10 pins behind Gene, but he could strike out to beat him. Actually, he could strike out to tie. And let's see what Brittany will do. She'll be looking to strike here for sure. And she does. She gets the 7 out. So that moves her 2 pins ahead of Jack. So Jack and Gene are up at the moment by 8.
Yes.
But Brandon and
10.
Brittany are on strikes.
Front
Andy.
10 for Andy.
Yeah, we're going to stay here on the scratch side. And Andy Nyer. Andy Nyer's won a couple PBA events in his time.
He's won 1 national title. I know that.
Yes.
I don't know how many regionals, but I know he has the 1 national title.
He got to the finals of the Senior Masters, was it, last year?
Yeah, I know it was the senior masters, but was it the final or was it the semis?
He got to the finals.
Final.
And light hit 7. Good run for Andy.
They will be moving on to game number 2. .289 for Andy Nyer.
Not bad.
Not at all. 237 for Anthony with a strike here in the fill ball of the 10th. Over on the handicap side, DJ Brown with a 150, Spencer Hawkinsmith 141. With their handicap, they are at 327. The Gordon family, Severo with 168, 187 with their handicap. Dad can go spare strike here for 190. They will be moving on. Jody comes up high, leaves the 6 pin. She will need a spare here to ensure that they are on to the next round. Strike there for Erickson and Vitale. Jody does make her spare. $195 for Jody, gives them 204. They're at 330. So they will be moving on. And as long as the Palmer family keeps it clean, DJ Brown and Spencer Hawkinsmith will be eliminated. And I do believe they now have enough. $168, $191 for the Gordon family. 387, that puts them in the 370s. They are safe. $527 for the Nyers. Strike here gives Isaac 234, and that would also give them 465. He gets the strike, 465. They are safe. All right, now it comes down to the final 2 teams to move on to the next game. Strike there for Chase.
Yeah, I believe if both of them double forces Brittany and Brandon to double 2.
That is correct.
Because they're only, what, are they up by 8?
Yes.
I do believe if Summer and Blair both strike out, so do Brittany and Brandon, correct?
Well,
They have to match whatever they do.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes.
It's within
Gene,
like 2 pins.
Gene and Brandon could tie if they strike
Yes.
out. Brittany can
Beat Jack
by 12.
12. That's pretty good. Ooh.
Jack pretty clutch in the 10th.
Looked pretty good, then it didn't hook.
Clutch on the lanes and clutch for the weather. Jade now looking for his double.
Oh!
He gets his.
Not really sure
We're
how he
gonna
got
have
that
to-
7 out.
We're going to have to respot the 7 on lane 14.
Yep.
'Cause
Not
I
really
don't
sure
know what
how he
hit
got it out.
The guy in the back hit it.
It was a little windy today, so
Might have been that.
a little bit of that air. All right. Jack and Gene now for their last shots here in the 10th. 180 for Chase Attic Chavez. 384 for him and Jody.
All right. One more strike for Gene here forces a double out of both. He doesn't
Yep.
even need a strike. He just needs some count. Good enough.
All right. Now it's the Himmelreich Updike future is in their hands.
Actually, that 8 count may end up hurting Gene. Let's see here. If Brandon strikes out, he beats him by 2. So Brittany then would just need the first.
Has Brittany, she struck once on this lane. Twice.
Good shot there for Brittany. That was a big one. Brandon needs to follow suit here too and get the strike. $168 for Romaine Palmer, 149 for Sean. 396 for them. They will be moving on. Brandon now for his first in the 10th. Puts 10 back.
All right.
This is actually where I question they chose last. I feel like if I'm the top seed, I think I choose first. I don't think I'd ever want to go last in this
It's
situation.
always good to get your score in the clubhouse as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Big shot here for Brittany, looking for 10. She gets it.
Wasn't sure about that after it left her hand, but it rolled up nice.
All right, important shot here for Brandon.
Let's see here. 13.
Brandon looking for 10.
Actually, he doesn't even need a strike now. Just good count and a mark.
That's way left.
That should be enough, as long as Brittany gets good count. 9 and
Got him by 11.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as
She
she gets
needs
good
9.
count. Yeah.
9 and then the spare for Brandon. That's good enough. Well, that's 9.
Actually, I don't even think Brandon needs the spare.
Got him by 11.
That's 11,
Yeah,
20.
Brandon doesn't even need the spare. All right, so Brittany and Brandon go through to match number 2 by the skin of their teeth. Some good clutch 10th frame bowling by both teams there. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are flipping today. Matt didn't say anything to me. Matt didn't say anything to me about flipping, so I'm not sure.
That's kind of dumb. Not gonna lie.
$236.
Okay, on to Matt for as soon as everybody clears out. On to Matt for presentations.
That concludes game one of our finals, finishing in fourth place in the scratch division, getting a $50 scholarship and award for the youth and a $50 payout for the adult. Goes to the team of Gene Blair and Jack Selmer.
Doesn't matter.
$50 each for Blair and Selmer for their efforts.
And our fourth place finishers in the handicap division, getting a $50 scholarship, certificate, and award. The adult bowler a $50 payout. Goes to the team of Spencer Hawkinson and DJ Brown.
Hawkinson and Brown, $50 each for their efforts. All right, let's set up for game two. I'll be back shortly with the upcoming PJBT schedule.
Okay, on to our semifinal eliminator match. Don't worry about the names. Everybody go over to 2 balls in each lane. 2 balls in each lane. That is a 2 balls off the field.
All right, let's talk about the upcoming PJBT schedule next week. We are on Going East, Town and Country. In the basement, as I call it. 10:30 start next Sunday. The following week, we have our
3-person team event.
3-person team event at Clearview. That's always a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
You definitely want to get in your reservations early for that because we usually get more than 32 teams.
Yes, and I will tell
ahead.
I'm going to stress this now because I think you were going to say it, but I'm going to stress it anyway. We do take over the amount of teams per lanes, but if you do get in the deadline afterwards, you will be split up as a team.
Yes.
I'll throw it back to you, Jason, on that.
Yes. Yes, you will. You will be split up. Basically, think of your team will be the fourth bowlers on lanes 1, 2, and 3 if you're the first team not to join in. If you're team number 33, if you're team number 34, you will be on 4, 5, and 6. Think of it that way. Then the following week, we have major number 8, I believe, from Haja Rose Bowl in the Allentown area. And the week after that, we go up to Wilkes-Barre, March the 18th. Stanton Lanes, another wood bowling center. Maybe Josh will be healed from his injury because that's usually a house that Josh bowls well on.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town that weekend.
Oh. No Josh up at Stanton? But I look forward to seeing you in that shirt.
I might have to make a I can be there later, but I just don't think I can be there on time. Skip Moyer's a wanted man. I might have, if I'm healed up in time, I actually have another bowling venture I need to.
Okay.
Whatever the next word is that I don't know at the moment.
And that is our upcoming schedule for the next month or so.
But if you're thinking about bowling that 3-person team event, that is definitely, well, today is the next Sunday would be the deadline, but that is something I would do in the next couple days. Not only does it ensure that you guys all bowl together, but it ensures that we have time to get everything together and be as ready to go as we can.
Yes, that's usually a fun day.
Yes, because we do fill that tournament up.
Yes.
We have, the last 3 years, we have turned teams away from that event, so do not get shut out.
Clearview is a very interesting bowling center.
Twister pins.
Twister pins, that is correct.
But Certainly a center we do enjoy going to. They treat us very well out there.
Yes, they do.
Also home of the Dutchman Baloney Bowling Tournament.
That's where the legend of Skip Moyer was born.
Yes. I have a story for you then that I did not tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you later, off camera, but
Okay.
remind me. I have a Skip Moyer story for you. I'm going to take a step out real quick, Jason, move the muscles around a little bit, check out the bowling center. I didn't get a chance to check this place out yet. I see eating tables on the lanes.
Yes, that's
I like it.
interesting over there.
I'm going to go check that out quick. I'll be right back.
You go check it out. All right, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have flipped. The scratch teams will be on the right-hand lanes. The handicap will be on the left. I'm, by the way, situated right behind lanes 13 and 14 where the handicap teams are this game. I will say this is a very nice bowling center. It's a little on the older side. It opened in the 1950s. It's my kind of bowling center. I grew up in bowling centers like this in the late 70s and 80s. I think that's when Severo grew up in bowling centers too, in the late 70s and 80s. Right? Right? Just shake your head. Not that way. This way. All right, so it looks like we're just about done with our warm-ups for match number 2.
Okay, bowling fans, time to begin our semifinal elimination match. On the left side, we have the handicap side. Number 1 seed Sean and Lorraine Bowler are elected to go last. Number 3 seed Severo and Andy Gordon. They elected to go second. So your 4th seeds Jody Boyer, Chase Sadik Chavez. Handicap is in once again. Number 1 seed Brandon Updike, Brittany Himmelreich are elected to go last on this match. 2nd seed Anthony and Andy Nyer are going to go first. And
How do you pronounce your name correctly? So I get it right. How do you pronounce your name correctly? Romaine. Like that. Yep, exactly. Yep. Thank you. All right, off we go to match 2. Once again, handicap is now on the left. Scratch is on the right. Anthony Nyer up first, lane 15. He comes in a little light, leaves a bunch of junk. Let's see what Jody does. Jody comes in high. Just a reminder, Jody and Chase get 9 pins. Severo and Dan get 19. Sean and Romaine get 79. Chase struck, and Andy left a 7-pin. Jody gets her spare. Let's see what Severo could do. His partner Dan came in a little high, left a 3-9. On the scratch side, Isaac puts 10 back. Dan does not convert his 3-9. And Severo makes his 6. Vital up on lane 16. He goes 10 back. Good start for him and his partner, Isaac. Romaine up, lane 14. Healy's pocket, 5-7. His partner, Sean, comes in light. Scratch side, young Mr. Updike, 3-6. Let's see what his partner, his sister, Brittany, can do.
Looks like 15 and 16, just a little bit different out there than they were for the last match. Brittany comes in light, leaves the very wiggly 8-pin. That thing wiggled all day. Spare there for Updike and Himmelreich. Nair now. The Nair family up now. Strike there for Andy. Anthony up for his second frame, working on an open. Chase goes up high, leaves a 6th head.
To answer a couple questions that we had while I was doing some other things between the games, Lynn, it's the question that you asked is kind of a very difficult thing to answer because it depends when you want the ball to hook. Is it something that you want for heavy oil where you want to get the ball into a roll kind of early, or is it something that you want for later on in the tournament when there's less oil on the head, something that goes down the lane and then hooks really hard like a pearl cover stock would do? So pretty difficult to answer that question based on what you're asking. Yes, that does say noon. I don't know if he forgot to change that from when we did junior gold qualifiers or if there's actually a noon start time on that tournament.
Let me go find out, but I am 99% sure that is a 10 a.m. start time.
No, it's 10:30.
All right, that is 10:30.
Yes, Haja, that is a mistake in the flyer.
We will be sure to get that memo out shortly.
Remain up, frame number 2. He converted his 5-7 split in frame number 1. His partner, Sean, 10 and a wiggle. Well, 9 pins down, 10 pin left, and a wiggle. Let's see what Brittany could do. Lane 15, second frame. That didn't sound good. I can't quite see it.
1, 2, 7, 10.
Ooh. So she came up light and then lighter.
Very light, yes.
Annie Nair with a double. Jody with a strike. And Brittany converts the spare. Let's see here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Meow. 10 pin for Chase. Once again, as always, ladies and gentlemen, message board is live and operational. Feel free to chime in if you have any questions or comments. If this is your first time watching us, thank you very much for tuning in. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand portion of your screen, and you will be notified if you have notifications turned on each and every time we go live here on the PJBT on YouTube. With Skip and the Fat Man.
That's how we roll.
Yes.
We just heard our own echo.
Yes, we did. I was wondering. I thought for a second, what's going on?
All right, both Nairs struck in their third frame. Isaac now up, looking for a 3-bagger.
Saw a lot of that today.
Gordon now. He gets his double. Everybody on the scratch side pretty much close score-wise. A couple pin matches as Brittany gets her first strike of the match.
That was ugly, but effective.
Once again, we will update you on scores right around the 5th or 6th frame as far as where everyone stands once we get into the thick of things. Spare there for Isaac. Strike there for Chase.
Now, as I was telling my good friend Sam from East Lincoln, by the way, Sam, if you're watching us, hello. While we were doing the live stream last week, I really need to get some roadies that are willing to set this stuff up and tear it down at the end of the day.
I see one sitting in front of you.
That would be funny. Nothing. Yes. Let's see if Brandon can convert the 7-10 here. He does not. Well, Lynn, if you want later on, and again, if you want a ball that goes long, something that your son will use later on in the block, not necessarily in game 1 or game 2, but later on you're going to want a ball with a pearl cover stock. A good ball, if you could get your hands on it. I don't mind the plug right now. Might be a little hard to get your hands on. The ball is discontinued, but it's a very good ball. That would be the Fire Quantum by Brunswick.
That ball's discontinued?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I thought that came out recently.
It's been a little over a year now.
And it's discontinued already?
Yep. If you can't find the Fire Quantum, the black one is very similar.
Your kid just said the Forza red line.
Yes. That ball is very touchy.
If anyone wants to try one, I'll give it away.
For some people, the Forza red line works very well, like for my child. For others, it doesn't work well.
I found that ball to be extremely touchy.
Yes.
I think that ball plays best sink it home on my living room floor underneath the back of the closet. But some people don't, you know. I guess it's personal preference. You know, some bowling balls work for different people.
Yes. The tagline by Motive is another good.
Yes. Now that ball there, I keep under my bed at night so nobody steals it.
Yes. But I would definitely say if you could get your hands on a Fire Quantum, Lynn, that might be something you want to look at. It is a thicker core bowling ball, or a thicker shell bowling ball, so it tends to hit a little harder. I was always a fan of my day with thicker shells. That's just my 2 cents. And now Matthew is joining us.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Matthew.
How's it going today?
We're answering questions that people have about bowling equipment.
Interesting.
Because we're smart.
I heard you talking about Motive bowling balls.
We are so smart. SMRT.
Interesting matches we got going on here today. Pretty good adult junior event. Some exciting eliminator matches here.
I would like to chip in quick just on the whole smart thing. I did see a guy the other day spell white W-Y-T-E. So maybe he needs a little Skip Moyer in his life. But anyway.
What did you think, Matt, for our first time here at Midway?
I thought it was very good. I mean, we had 42 teams today. And, I was aware of some other events going on. Specifically, I know in the Lancaster area today. And but for an adult junior here, first time, I thought we did very well. 42 teams is decent turnout. And we had 21 in each division equally today, scratch and handicap. So, and
I would say it's very safe to say we will be back here next year.
Yeah, the hospitality of the center and everything has been great. Everybody's been very good, and
felt like it took forever coming down 81 to get here. I thought that exit would never show up.
I did not go that way.
Well, you know, many of you know who follow the PJBT that over the last year or two, we've had a couple of centers unfortunately close. And, you know, when we looked into expanding to some centers, this center was brought to my attention because it's of size. It's very decent. They actually had 36 lanes in this center many years ago, back when I was a junior bowler, but because I do remember bowling Pepsi here and some other events, but they took the first 4 lanes out off camera. You can't see it, but down at the low end of the house, they took the first 4 lanes out, and they actually put in a stage for live music. And they have private parties and stuff over there, and it kind of coordinates with the bar and restaurant, bar and snack bar and area down at the low end of the house. So turned it into a 32-lane house, but that still is a decent size. And, you know, location was a big thing for me when I looked into this center because it really wasn't that far away from our Harrisburg centers that we traveled to. And it was pretty easily accessible right from 81 or the Turnpike. So, you know, that was another reason why I wanted to give them a shot. And, yeah, they really really have treated us well here. So I'm sure we'll be back.
Yes. There's a. Did you hear that, Skip? There's a stage. The Skip and Fats Comedy Hour will be appearing.
I think we could have a specialty event here next year. We'll have a tournament, and then we will bring in the loudest heavy metal band we can find. I just tell them to beat the drum all day. So we are through 5 frames over in the scratch side. We have the Nair family right around 150. They have 156 through 5. Erickson and Vital are also in the 150s. And Updike and Himmelreich are in the 130s. So right now, Brittany is working on 2 opens, so her and Brandon have a little bit of work to do. Over on the handicap side, it's pretty much anybody's ball game right now over there. We have Chase Attic Chavez with a 3-bagger, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. I'm going to say they have a slight lead, maybe a couple pins, but the Gordon and Palmer family is right behind them right now through 5 frames, so way, way, way too close to call. Yeah, that match is going to come down to the 10th. Andy Nair with another strike. He is lined up now on the pair after the 9 count in the first. Gordon misses his 7-pin on the handicap side.
One comment about the action that we're watching here today, and I know as PA flips back and forth with the cameras for the scratch and handicap side, let us know what you think of the shots up close on each pair. I know we do like to have the scoring on there, but obviously can only have so many cameras running at once. But I do like the up-close shots on each pair.
I do too.
And it's not hard for us to give the detailed scoring and whatnot after a few frames. I certainly think it looks a little better having these up-close cameras. Gives everybody a little more of a view of what's going on. As Mr. Palmer covers his spare. Sean now looking to convert the 4-9. He will get the 4-pin. Jody now up on lane 13 to start the 7th frame. She comes up high, leaves the 6. Neil Vital up on your screen now on lane 15. Looking for the 3-5-6. You know, I caught myself a few times with some of his spare attempts today because they're not spares that, as a right-hander, I'm used to saying. It's not too often I said, you know, I say something like a 6-8.
If anybody saw that on the right pair, we had a out of range I have to set up.
Yes. I think, thankfully that pin fell.
Yeah, that pin would have slid over and became a 9-10.
Yeah, it looked like it stopped somewhere between like the 6 and the 9 pin.
All right, here's Brittany now up on 15, and She's going to have to make some sort of an adjustment because does not have a good look right now on the pair.
Yeah,
She comes in light again, leaves the bucket.
This lane 15 is definitely giving her fits. She came in light in the second frame, left a washout and made it. Came in light in the fourth frame, left a 2-4-6-10. Now came in light in the sixth.
And she chops off the bucket. That's 3 opens in a row. That's going to put them in quite a bit of a hole.
I know between games she was reaching for her new skin.
A little bit of a thumb problem. Solid 10 there for Anthony.
That's a good shot. And that's the 7.
Did I say 10?
Yes, you did.
There we go again. 7 pin. You are correct. 10 back for Andy. If they'd all just get strikes, this would make it so much
Yes.
easier.
See, now, Andy, bowling back in the day, on wood, you would just think his game is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger the later on the tournament goes.
Kind of looks like the pins are different color with the glare of the sun coming in.
See what Isaac could do. He's working on a double. 7th frame. Other week 10.
Jody trips the 6 pin.
All right, Lynn, if you're still watching, I believe Brittany is getting ready to throw her Fire Quantum. That didn't look too good for me telling Lynn to buy that bowling ball.
Not at all. As always, we do certainly recommend that you visit your local pro shop for some advice on any bowling balls. Just because we tell you it's good doesn't mean it fits your game, but we certainly give you our recommendations, but certainly that is the place to start.
We should come out with our own bowling ball line.
We should.
Yes.
The Fat Moyer line of bowling balls. Make some rubber. Some old rubber balls.
Now we're really going back in time.
We're bringing it back. Solid 10 there for Brandon. They are in a world of hurt right now.
Yes, they are.
We're going to let everybody bowl the 8th frame here, and then we'll give you guys a rundown of where the scratch division is. Also the same with the handicap. Handicap is just about done with the 8th frame. As Sean Palmer makes his spare. Romaine Palmer looking for his 5-6. And he makes the split. All right, through 8 frames over in the handicap side. The Royer and Attic Chavez team has 284. The Gordon family with 247. And the Palmers with about 320. So and through 7, it is the Nyers with the lead. Erickson and Vitale in 2nd. And Himmelreich Updike in 3rd. It's about a 60-pin difference between 2nd and 3rd.
Ben Ryan says a flaring rubber ball.
I'm sure we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
We're going to have Ben be one of the first ones to try it out.
I'm sure he'd like that. By the way, we bowled on his pattern today. I don't know why he didn't do so good.
Yeah, anyway, any pattern named Ben should be good.
Alex would like to know what kind of an aggressive bowling ball he should buy. Well, that's a difficult question to answer. It's going to really depend on your play. That's one where you're going to want to go to your local pro shop. I would recommend, if you're anywhere in the Reading area, to stop by and see Ryan May. If you're somewhere in the Effort area, you could see Jeff Smith at Pureit Pro Shop. If you're somewhere up in Schuylkill County, Kegler's, see TJ.
Quite a few options in the Reading area.
Absolutely.
I personally would recommend the Perfect Aim Pro Shop.
Yep.
Greg Bickta has treated me well for God knows how long.
Yes. Yes, he has. And I'd say if you're somewhere up in the Allentown area, you can never go wrong with Bowler X.
Yeah. Some very good options around. Of course, it is personal preference, but some very good options. I just see a Facebook message here. A guy said, if you get a message from me on buying government bonds, delete it. I said, what if I want to buy some? You know, you can never go wrong.
Yeah.
They didn't say what country they were from.
Probably Nigerian. Venezuela government bonds.
Well, the inflation rate's pretty good down there.
That it is.
I hate to say it, but the day for Himmelreich Updike is just about over.
I would agree.
They hit a wall this game. It's going to be interesting to see this scratch pair coming back over to 13 and 14 for this final match.
Yes.
We're going to have 3 left-handers and a right-hander.
Alex wants to know how he could slow his ball speed down. Well, first thing you could do is lower your arm.
He wants to slow it down from 20 to 16. If you're throwing the ball 20 miles an hour, there is no way to go but down.
Well, we know who Alex is, and Alex, I believe, is in his first year of bowling, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yes. And yes, he's a football player by trade.
Okay.
He is a big guy. Yes. Yes. Good kid, though.
Yeah, you could drop the ball down in your approach a little bit. You could move up to the foul line.
Yep.
A lot of times or not up to the foul line, I should say, move your approach up a little bit.
Yep.
A lot of times when you move it up, you're going to take a little slower steps, which should slow down the ball a little bit.
Yes. Also, you could probably get your timing right a little more. The later you are with your timing, the more you're going to muscle the ball through.
Ben wants to know why we don't send anybody down to the Baltimore area.
Well, because you haven't paid us enough money, Ben, to say that.
We can be bought with Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Chick-fil-A, if you're listening, that message was for you. We accept chicken sandwiches and chicken nuggets as sponsorship.
Absolutely.
All right, finishing up the 10th frame here in both matches. The scratch division just started the 10th. The handicap division is finishing up. 192, 143, 152 with the handicap for Royer and Attic Chavez. They have 344. 344 for them. The Gordons will finish right around the 380s. And the Romaines are already at 350, both working on marks, so it should be Attic, Chavez, and Royer being eliminated after this game.
Taylor, I wouldn't worry too much about putting in averages for that. Unless, I don't know, Skip, you would know more than I would. Could you take the 3 averages and add them up, or doesn't it let you go above like 300 when you're putting in the averages?
Taylor, just put the names of the bowlers in. We do look the averages up beforehand, just as we would at a regular PJBT event. So just put down that the 3 people that are bowling in the box, and whether you believe your scratch or handicap. That's all we really need to know. If you put down handicap, we will check all the averages out, and they will all be confirmed at check-in at Clearview. So no need to go looking up averages. We'll take care of that for you. Because more than likely, most of them will be PJBT averages.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That was very astute.
That's what I do.
Yes, it is. That's why you're Skip Moyer.
I always recommend, if there is a team event, adult, junior, no matter what, always put details in the box as to what you're paying for and who the bowlers are. It helps us out tremendously to make sure we do not miss you. We've had that in the past where we've actually missed some teams and things just get hairy. So the more details we have, always the better. So, okay, Nair and Nair we have in the clubhouse they are at 433. Vital and Erickson are on pace to be in the 450s.
Yes.
And 370 for Updike and Himmelreich, so they are eliminated.
Yes.
It will be the Nairs and Vital and Erickson moving on. Handicap division, it will be the Gordons and the Palmers moving on to the title matches.
Now, there's a good example of one we were talking about, matching the bowling ball up with your game. Now, Brandon and Brittany, they were the high qualifiers today. By a lot in the first round. Their games for wood lanes match up really well at the beginning when there's oil. As you can see, Brittany is struggling a little bit on this pair. She throws the ball a tad bit slow for wood lanes when they have no head on the oil. Oil on the heads, excuse me. Head on the oil, Skip.
Head on the oil.
Head on the oil.
Sounded right to me. How can you go wrong?
So it's a little hard for her to find the right ball to get down the lane as far as possible for her. And she, because of her stature and because of her speed, she struggles moving left and having to play fourth arrow. Where somebody like the Nairs, as the lanes break down because of the way they throw, the lanes get better for them because they could get the ball through the heads a lot easier. Andy, spent a few years on the PBA tour back when they were wood lanes. So he certainly knows how to get the ball down lane before it hooks. Between the ball that he's using, the drilling that he has, his speed that he throws the ball, and his hand position when he's throwing it. Those are all factors that lead into how far you can get the ball down the lane. There's a lot to learn in the sport of bowling, for sure.
Alrighty, 349 for Updike Himmelreich. Himmelreich and Updike, rather. They will be your third place cashers. And Royer and Attic Chavez, third place also. Definitely a good day for both of those teams.
$75 for their third place finish for Brandon and Brittany.
And our third place finishers in the handicap division. Youth bowler getting a $75 scholarship and award. $75 payout to the adult goes to Jody Royer and Chase Addick Chavez.
Jody Royer and Chase Addick Chavez, third place in the handicap division. $75 for their efforts.
On to our title matches.
All right, so we're going to warm up for the title matches. Each team will get 2 shots on each lane, so this won't take too long.
Yeah, but it hinders my grip on it.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of news that could potentially happen. I kind of hinted at this last week about the first annual Fatstacular bowling tournament. I'm still trying to work out details with my friends down at East Lincoln because that's where I would like to have it. The dates that I would like to have it doesn't really work out for them, so we may be looking at the last weekend of July to have this. I know that is only a week or so after Junior Gold ends, so we're going to have to play around to see if that week works out. I'm looking at full field would be 64 bowlers with a $1,500 first place scholarship for the winner. $4,200 in the prize fund, all total. Top 16 would cash if everything works out the way it does. Not bad. It would probably be about a $60 entry fee, $40 of which would go to the prize fund. Hoping to potentially have the tournament on a Sunday morning. We would lay out the pattern on a Saturday night for those that want to come out to practice. It will. It is a pattern that nobody has ever bowled on before. In fact, it's my own pattern called the Fats pattern.
Fats pattern. Is it
The Fats
fat?
pattern. It is fat.
It smells good.
What did she say?
She was.
I missed that.
And apparently, she finally washed some clothes, so it smelled good.
Oh, okay.
All right. So yes, Josh, we're trying to hammer out a date for the first annual Fatstacular.
All right, on the mat, then we'll come back to that.
Nah, well, this is more important.
Fan, it is time for our title matches. We have a 1, 4, a 2, and a 3, all still in the finals on the various sides. On the scratch side, number 2 seeds, Anthony and Andy Nyer,
All right. We are ready to go on lanes 13 and 14. It is Nair against Erickson and Vital. And on 15 and 16, it is the Palmer family against the Gordon family. Anthony comes up, first shot, goes through the face with the Greek Church.
The difference in the handicap is 60 pins to Romain and Sean. We are now down to bowlers being on the same side for the same team. Hello, Mr. Erickson. How are you today? Isaac's dad standing behind me. Always a good guy to talk to. Strike there for Andy.
Vital up on 14. Puts 10 back. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay. 8 spare for Severo and Dan. 9 miss for Sean. Romain up now for his first frame. Left side of the head pin. Leaves 7. Strike there for Isaac.
See, now, Isaac has that little bit of a heavier roll to help him when the heads get a little dry. I certainly can't see his track for where I am at the moment, but I'd be willing to bet he has a low tilt. Partner Neil leaves a 10 pin. The other side, Anthony struck after opening with the Greek Church. Over to the scratch side, Severo working off of a spare, gets a strike. And he leaves a weak 7. False start by Neil, 5-yard penalty.
Repeat first down.
Dan comes in high, leaves the 4-7-10 on this handicap side. Neil picks up his spare. Let's see if Andy can pick up his 7 pin.
I don't care.
Isn't that place kind of expensive? Look to see what's around. All right, Erickson up, lane 14. Comes in high, leaves a split. Sean makes his 10 pin. That's his second spare in a row.
I have a feeling we're going to see both of these matches go to the 10th frame. Erickson gets count. Neal looking for the strike here to stay right behind them. I could do a diner with a soup bar. For a while looking for soup. Diner with a soup bar. Diner with a soup bar. What's a diner that's around here?
Carlisle Diner.
How far away is that? Is that on the way back? I didn't pay attention to anything when I was driving. Neal comes up high, leaves the 2-4-7. Romaine Palmer leaves the 6. Dan Gordon up now for his 3rd frame. Pretty good looking shot there. Comes up just a little weak, leaves the 2-pin. Very makeable spare for both bowlers. Spare there for Neal. Good shot for him. Isaac and Anthony up now to start the 4th frame. And a 10-pin for Isaac. Anthony now up for his 4th frame. Pretty good looking shot there. Leaves a weak 7 there. Pretty good shot. Shaw comes up high, leaves the 3-6-10. Robaid missed his 6-pin. So Sean will be looking to make his spare here to keep them in the match. Palmer's up 64 through 3 frames. Spare there for Sean. Anthony gets his strike, as does Isaac. Neal and Anthony up now.
Alex wants to know if it's a good thing to loft a bowling ball or not.
It's not what I would recommend. I feel that's only something if needed.
Yes.
Unless you're 7 feet tall from Finland, I don't really see lofting being an issue.
I don't really think the person to my left could loft a bowling ball. That would be funny to watch.
Skip is a lofter of urethane from time to time. It has happened. Typically, I only loft the ball if I'm having some carry issues. Maybe get the ball up a little bit, helps me kick out a 10, but other than that, I just throw rockets at the head pin.
Now, if there was somebody here with a very high rev rate, they could be lofting right now, because typically when you loft is when there's hardly any oil left on the heads.
Almost trouble there for Anthony. Trips out the 7 on the 7-9, leaves just the 9-pin.
That was interesting. Yes, Ben, we know you could run. What can't Ben Rhines do?
Cut his hair.
True. He doesn't get us water anymore, I will say that.
What's up with that?
It's very disappointing.
You know, I went the whole entire Danny Wiseman tournament without one bottle from him this year.
We may have to address that issue.
4-9 for Isaac Erickson on lane 14. Severo leaves the 6-7. Isaac looking to get at least one here. Good count there. Still a very close match here on the scratch side. Palmers are slowly opening up a little bit of a lead. Both matches into the 5th frame. Neither match certainly over. Match could change at any time. Neal looking for the double. This would be a pretty big double here coming off the open for Neal. Pretty good looking shot. And what was that? That is one of the most unlucky 5-pins you'll ever see.
Yes.
Pocket 5-pin.
And now the 5-pin became the 3-8.
Okay, we will get that 5-pin reset on 14. Dan also comes up and throws a really good shot and buries a 7.
So, Skip, while we're waiting, let's talk about why we're starting to see a lot of corner pins being left, especially on the scratch side.
Go ahead, Jason. What were you saying?
That's all right. Let's talk about this. We're starting to see a lot of weak corner pins.
I was just going to bring that
Left.
up as you said it, yes.
Yes. Let's first, for those of you that don't know, a weak corner pin is, let's say, the 10 pin for a second. You'll see the 6 pin basically just lie in the gutter next to the 10, or if it's the 7 pin, you'll see the 4 pin lie in the gutter. Would you like to explain why, Skip? We see that a lot on wood, typically towards the back end of a tournament.
Well, a lot of it, you know, with the wood lane, your oil moves a lot quicker. Like, especially like what you said, when the head oil goes away and everything goes down lane, ball just gets down there and doesn't have as much drive as it did when we first started.
That is 1,000% correct. The ball has lost all of its energy coming into the pocket, and it just goes blah.
And we kind of just saw it there with the
Yes.
379. I almost said 2-8-10. back to my right-handed spares again.
This battle of attrition here on the scratch side.
Yes, it is. It's sort of like what we saw in the first match.
Yes.
13 and 14 is just starting to go, and the handicap bowlers were over there for the.
He wants to know what 7-foot-tall bowler is from Finland.
I speak of Mika Koivudieme.
He's close.
He may not quite be 7 feet, but he is sure up there. Isaac gets 2 there. That's back-to-back opens for him. So not a lot of trouble there with that open, just because both teams struggling, but certainly seems like the next team to double might have the upper hand.
That could be the guy that does it right there.
It could be. Neil now looking for his strike. Neil should be looking for a 3-bagger, but
Yes.
after that untimely 5-pin.
Good baby split conversion by Romain on 16.
Here's Neil up on 13 now.
Trips the 6-pin.
Chips the 6-pin front.
So Sean and Romain have still a decent-sized lead on the handicap side. They are getting 60 pins.
14-pin lead for the Nyers, but certainly with the way we've seen the pair, it's anybody's match here.
Ooh. That looked like Neil's shot, just reverse.
Comes up very high, but he gets lucky, carries. Gives him an idea of what adjustment he needs to make. Anthony now up on 13. Gets the strike. It is currently now a 90-pin, about 90-pin lead for the Palmer family. They pretty much just need to fill frames, and they will be winning each of them their first PJBT title. And what very well may be, I think, Sean's first tournament here with us. So
Dan says, though, not so fast. He doubles up. There's Neil Vital with a double.
all right, go ahead.
Let's see if Andy can match him with a double of his own.
Pretty big shot here for Andy too.
Now that one was more of a solid 7. That's when the ball still has drive, but his entry angle into the pocket was a little bit behind the head pin. For those that don't know, Skip, if you've never been actually down back to look at the pins, there's a lot further of a distance between the pins than it actually looks like from the front. You'd swear from
Absolutely.
the front that they're right behind each other. There's a good what, 8, 9, 10, 12 inches between the pins?
I think it's 12 inches between
Yes.
each pin.
Is it a foot? Foot.
Yeah. All right, double there for Anthony. I think we're starting to see a little bit of the having the 3 left-handers on the pair here come into play a little bit. The left side is certainly changing a little bit. I want to see what for adjustment Isaac makes here. He's probably going to bump in a little bit, right? Throw the ball nice and soft.
You know, if Dan could strike here on 15, they're right back in the match.
Yes, they are. That's what I said about fill and frame. Sean went up and opened there, and there's a big shot here for Gordon. He comes up just a little light, leaves the 4 pin. I got to check myself a second there before I call out these pins
Yes.
with the left-handers on the pair. Much better shot there for Isaac. Leaves a 7, or the 10 pin rather. I'm even looking right at the pin, calling it a 7.
Now that was a weak 7. You could see that when the ball reached the pocket, it just did not have the energy to drive.
Definitely the correct move though for him.
Yes, absolutely.
Just needs to make a hair adjustment when he's over there for the 10th, but certainly wants to do the same thing on 14. Here's Andy now looking for the strike. He gets it.
If we had instant replay, which maybe someday we will,
Someday.
you would see that when Isaac's ball hit the pins, it would have deflected to the right. Whenever you see deflection to the side that you're throwing, your ball has no energy. What you want to see is the ball continue to drive right through the pins. So if you're hitting the 1-3 pocket, you either want to see the ball split the 8 and the 9 or basically take out the 8.
Big shot here for Neil. This could be he could cut this to a 4-pin match with the strike here. Both Palmers open in the 9th, so opening the door up just a hair for the Gordons to come in. It's still a 50-pin match. But we have big shot here for Severo. Severo's on a double. Neil looking to cut this to 4 pins.
And he does.
And he gets 10. Good shot there for Neil. Anybody's match going into the 9th. Severo comes up high, leaves the 4, 6, 7, 10. I did it again. 6, 7, 10. Romaine comes up high, leaves a 6-10. A clean cover here would be a help for them. Strike there for Anthony.
That gives him 3 in a row.
Big shot here for Isaac. Big booster here to get into the 10th.
Anthony and his sister, member of Junior Team USA, by the way.
Absolutely.
Oh. Not what he was looking for.
That lane 14 was a mess for the right-handed bowlers. Anthony now looking for the double. And he comes high and gives it right back with the 4-6-10.
I definitely looked like he got that ball out early compared to where he was playing earlier in this game.
That could be the PJBT turning point of the game.
Oh, wow. We haven't said that for a little while.
No, we have not.
Week 10 by Dan over on the handicap side.
Because even though Isaac opened, you have to assume here Andy's going to also. And that opens the match right back up. Vital and Erickson can, I believe, take the lead here. No, they'll still be, they can keep it at 4. With Anthony's triple over there, yep. It would actually be a 6-pin match, I believe, if Neil can keep the strike going here. Alex, some good things to practice are your spares. Average goes up by making your spares.
Yep.
Big shot here for Neil. Ooh, another good shot, leaves the 7. Open frame there for Severo. He will shoot 143.
Isaac up, first ball in the 10th. T comes in high. 3, 6, 9, 10. Neil converts. Quickly over to the handicap side. just off camera, Isaac did convert his 3-6-9-10. Let's see what Dan could do. He gets a strike. Quickly over here to the scratch side. Anthony Nyer looking for 4 in a row. He gets it. Big shot there. See what Isaac could do on his fill. He could strike out for 156. And, well, strike on the last shot. Same thing. Yes. Which he does. Dan up, second ball in the 10th, handicap side. And he buries it. Back over here to Anthony. That's an, oh, that looked really good. Week 7. Neal mixes them.
That's a pretty big shot there. They needed that one.
Yes.
They are certainly not out of the match yet. Not at all.
So what did Dan and Severo end up with over there? 347?
347.
And Sean and Romaine have 333 with their handicap. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes. He needs a mark. Romaine needs a mark to win. And that will do it.
All right, so let's turn our attention to the scratch side. So let's see here. Anthony defeated Isaac by 55. And the best Neal could shoot is 216. So yes, Anthony and Andy have shut out Isaac and Neal, so they will be your scratch champions today. What's a decent average for a first-year bowler? I tell you what, back in my day, a decent average for a first-year bowler was about 90. Any more today, I tell you, with these bowling balls that are made, I'm impressed with kids bowling just a year and a half that are already up in the 180s and 190s. It really all depends on the coaching that you're getting. You get good, solid coaching and learn to throw the ball right, you could average, like I said, 180 or 190 within 2 years. Not like it was back in my day. All right, so Anthony and Andy Nyer with a 397 to 372 victory. And Sean and Romaine with a 373
Correct.
to 347. All right, so that's going to do it for the bowling. We will give out awards for the first and second place. We will reposition the camera, and as we're taking some pictures, I will set up for post-match interviews. You have been watching live coverage. PJBT Adult Junior number 4 coming to you live from Midway Lanes in Carlisle. We will be back.
Make arrangements ahead.
Isaac Erickson, Neil Vitale. Runner-up in the scratch division, $100 for each participant. Severo and Dan Gordon, $100 for their efforts in the handicap division. $150 for Andy Nyer for his victory in the adult division. Anthony Nyer, $200 for his part. $150 for Romaine Palmer. Sean Palmer, $200. All right, I'm going to reposition the camera, and we will have post-match interviews. Got it? Hey, we can still see Skip. All right. All right, we are here with our handicap division champions, Romaine and Scott Palmer. Congratulations on your victory. Sean, sorry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This your first tournament, I believe?
With him it is, but
Okay.
by myself it's not.
Okay. Your first victory, though.
Yes.
So now you've qualified for championship weekend
Ooh.
at Limerick for the big bucks.
Yeah.
So, is this your home bowling center?
Yeah,
Yes?
it is.
How different was the oil pattern today from what you're used to seeing when you bowl here in junior leagues?
Yeah, it was very greasy. The ball couldn't turn.
Oh.
There you go. Go ahead.
He bowls with a lot of English. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And today he couldn't use all his English and everything. He had to straighten his ball out a lot, which he doesn't like to do, and it really changed his game a lot.
Yes, it did. Well, it wasn't a house shot today. It was a recreational pattern. It was Big Ben. Big Ben plays a little bit longer, too. So, yes, you're going to have to move right and play a little bit straighter. But as the tournament went on, you probably were able to migrate a little bit left and
Yeah.
get back and swing the ball because the oil disappeared from the heads.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
Well, it was a long day, and as the day went on, I'm 66 years old, and as the day went on, I started losing my energy a lot, and my game started slipping from the 200s down into the 130s and 40s and 50s.
Absolutely.
But my boy here carried me all the way.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you bowl out of here, too?
Yes.
What do you average about?
My average is 160.
Okay.
I just started bowling.
Yes, you were telling me that earlier today.
Yeah.
You took it up at 65.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
12.
12. You're pretty tall for 12.
Yeah.
How many years have you been bowling?
About 4.
4? All right. What was your ball of choice today? Or bowling balls of choice?
What do you mean by
What were you
What-
throwing?
Oh,
What brand do you use?
the motive.
Okay. Motive's a good company.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
I use the hammer.
Uh-huh. Used to have plenty of them in my time. All right. Here's your chance to look right into that camera and thank whoever you want to thank, including me, of course.
Yes, I want to thank all you people. This was great.
Yeah.
A lot of work and thought and energy went into everybody doing this. And I know it takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of hard work, and we really, really appreciate it. The ABC is one of the greatest things in the world. More people need to come out and bowl. Get your kids bowling when they're young so they develop a good respect for the game, just like Little League Baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to say, Sean? You want to thank any of your coaches or
Who's your coach?
not really?
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for our handicap division champions,
Show your trophy.
Sean and Romaine Palmer. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, and I want to thank the people that run this bowling alley. And the girls that work here, they work so hard every day, long hours.
That they do. That they were telling me that earlier today, that they live here basically.
And they're our biggest fans.
Good. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Marlon. Oh, sorry, buddy.
All right, now for our scratch division champions, the Nyers. I tell you, every time you're back here with me, you should be thinking of taking up football or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be.
10th grade now, right?
Yep, 10th
Yep.
grade.
We're going to be seeing you at Eastern Regionals soon.
Yep.
Another couple weeks.
Yep.
So,
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we know, well, I know your history, and we know how you grew up on wood, so it seemed like you got stronger as the tournament went on. By the way, this is Anthony Nyer, member of Junior Team USA, PBA champion. Back in, you finished
94.
You finished second last year in the Senior Masters?
Yep, second to Walter Ray.
To Walter Ray. Didn't you beat Walter Ray for your title?
Yep.
Yes, you did. I actually remembered that. I'm impressed. How did you attack this Big Ben on wood today?
In the beginning, I went a lot straighter, but then they got wet dry, and I just decided to play the oil line and kept chasing it in and getting softer and softer and softer. A little bit of a float release, and ball restored energy.
You, sir.
Oh, so I started playing like middle of the road where you're supposed to. But they started to turn wet dry, like you said. And I actually chose the opposite for a while. I moved left to the hook and just got flatter with my release. But there in the finals, it just got so sharp a hook outside, I had to get in and just play the oil line.
Do me a favor, quickly, for our fans that may not know what that means, would you explain what you mean by wet dry?
Wet dry is when the lane transitions that like left to 10, when the ball hits the lane, it hooks. And when you move inside of 10, the ball wants to go really, really long and not hook at all. So it's really hard to blend the hook and the dry. So you either got to make your decision whether you go straighter with something a lot weaker and move left and play the hook with the oil to your right, or you move way inside. That way, if you miss left, there's a lot steeper angle to the dry, and it gets there farther down the lane. So,
tips from a pro, ladies and gentlemen. So what equipment were you? Well, I have to say this before I ask him what equipment he threw. Last week we were also on wood at East Lincoln. For those of you that weren't joining us, he was throwing a re-drilled house ball last week for a little while.
That it was.
And you shot what with it the first game?
Like 230.
230. A house ball. Or did you throw a re-drilled house ball today?
I probably could have, but it wouldn't have been the best option because it probably wouldn't have carried.
What did you end up throwing?
I threw my dark matter for most of the day, and then I went to my pin down boost, which when I had to move left into the hook and flatten my hand out. And then in the finals, you see me switch to my inception and to throw the last 4 there.
Now I know none of them.
They're all 900 globals.
900 global. Is any of them urethane?
No.
No?
No.
You threw resin?
Yep.
Wow. What
That's
about
a
you, Dad?
surprise.
Yes.
Dad started with a black boost, and then Dad finished the day with the last 10 games with a covert ops.
All right. All right, here's your chance to say whatever you would like to say. Thank whoever you want to thank.
I'd like to thank Steven Katowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Anybody else?
I'd like to take this time to thank West Pie and everybody at 900 Global for making the best balls in the industry, and thank you for taking me under your wing and making me staff. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's excellent. All right, gentlemen, our Scratch Division champions today, Anthony and Annie Nyer. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
He scraped the bottom of the barrel. Normally balls are brand
All right, that's just about going to wrap it up. Let's see here, go over the schedule really, really quickly before we head on out. Joshua's coming back.
Let's wrap this puppy up.
Hey, let's do that.
Just a reminder to everyone, we are at Town and Country next weekend for our singles event. The week after that is the 3-person team event at Clearview. Get your entries in ASAP. Other than that, that's all I got.
Yes. All right, for the entire PJBT crew, we're not going to go through all the names. They know all the names. We will see you next week from Town and Country Lanes in Bethlehem. Have a good week.
See ya.
Hello,
later.
son. See ya. Let's finish off with